Hello, hello. What is going on? I'm so excited. So if you've been on my page this morning, I have a huge surprise for you today. So I'm actually interviewing the wonderful and amazing Kate McShay, and she's going to be sharing her story of how she went to being a second grade teacher to creating a multiple seven-figure business. It's pretty amazing, and I just love her. I actually met her last year at an event, and we just connected and really had a lot of things in common, especially coming from the teaching background. And so I'm really excited for you to really hear her story and how she got to where she is today, because it's made such an incredible impact on my life and my direction and kind of where I'm going as well. So hopefully it inspires you to do the same if you are stuck or feeling, and if you're entrepreneurial, network marketing, or ever have that desire to become one, you definitely want to stick around for this. So let me bring her on. Kate McShay. It's going to take a little bit to have her pop on here, but while she's coming on, I just have to say, Kate has been such an inspiration for me. She has been just a huge motivator, support, a mentor that I follow. Truly inspired by her, especially her story. Like I said, I met her about a year ago, actually a little over a year, at an event. And just hearing where she's come from and her story with, teaching being her background, and learning her struggles and everything that she's gone through and where she is now is just truly an inspiration. And I'm so excited to have her on, because I know her time is super valuable. Kate is actually in Cabo right now with her husband, Andrew. So I know she does not have to be here right now, but that just goes to show what an amazing person Kate is, and what an amazing impact that she's having on so many other people to help them to have success and to create a lifestyle that they truly love, building, their business around them. So let's I thought we had Kate on here real quick. Hold on, I think I might have just lost her. Gotta love technology sometimes. So I'm using a tool to kind of stream this in both my personal page and on my business fan page as well. So if you haven't been over there to like that page, make sure you go over there if you are looking for more tips and strategies on how to take your business online. But let's just see here what just happened. Invite. Let's see here. So I know she is in Cabo, so hopefully everything is strong on her end. So while we're waiting, if you're joining us live, make sure you say hello, and make sure you let us know where are you viewing in from. I see Sean's on from England. I'm so happy that you're looking forward to this live. Like all day long, I was super pumped and excited, and all of a sudden I hit this go live button, and I'm like kind of freaking out a little bit. Like I'm a little nervous because hello, it's Kate McShay, right? So I've had the pleasure of actually getting to know Kate on a deeper level. We were able to mastermind together over the summer in Silverthorne, Colorado, and then back again in Denver, Colorado a couple weeks ago, helping to co-facilitate and mentor a workshop of hungry entrepreneurs looking to take their business online. So let me just come back and, wait, she says she's coming back on. So just sit tight for a second. Like I said, I'm not sure if you have to grant StreamYard access for us to be able to view your comments, but otherwise I do see Sean's comment coming in. So make sure that you say hello and let us know where you're viewing in from. If you are excited to listen and just really be a part of and listen to Kate's story, make sure you drop a heck yes, because I know I'm really excited to have Kate share with you her story. So Kate, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Hi. Let's see if this works now. For some reason,
I know.
It got all wonky. It's been great for the last 4 days.
It happens, right? As soon as you want something to do something, it's like it never goes as planned.
I know.
But that's the way it is. We just roll with it, right?
Exactly. We adapt, and we're good.
We adapt. All right. We have Sean on. We have Nellie on, joining from Atlanta. Hey, Debbie. Yay. How are you?
I see Lauren.
All of my favorite people on here today. Awesome.
Hi, Diane. Hey, Adrian.
Hey, I don't know if you missed it. I was kind of really talking about you and just how much you've inspired me and motivated me, and just somebody that I really look up to. I do. I just love you to death. And I love what you're all about. Mwah! And how you have such a servant heart and how you're impacting so many people. And I just love that about you. And I really feel that, for me, that connection came back about it almost a little over a year ago at that first major event that I went to, and I saw you up on that stage. I'm like, dang, like, look at her go. Like, she's a boss. And just having that in common with her of just, that teaching background really inspired me. So I'm so honored. I'm so humble and grateful. And I can go on and on and on. Just so excited that you're on here, especially you're in Cabo celebrating your anniversary with your husband, Andrew. So I really appreciate you coming on today. And I'm so excited for everybody on here on my page to really be able to listen to your story. So if you wouldn't mind, can you give us a little background to, how does that really happen? If you think about it, it's crazy. How did you end up, from being in a second grade classroom to creating a multiple 7-figure business? That is mind blowing. Knowing what I know now, I know it's possible and it's so achievable. But if I were completely brand new and jumping on here and just learning about this, it's like, how the heck does that happen? Can you share with us a little bit about what that was like for you?
Yeah, sure, definitely. And it's so interesting. Oh, I'm hearing it go.
Well, that's always interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not echoing on my end.
It might be. Do you have a headset?
Let's see here.
This is the fun part about going live, everybody. This is like the cool kinks that we do. So if you have those moments where you're like, I don't want to do it, I don't want to click the button, I don't want to go live.
No, and yeah, exactly. I was so fearful when I first went live, but the more I do it, and it becomes easier. And actually, you can choose to make it fun. Do you think this will work, Kate? If I
plug it in and let's see, and then we'll test with everybody on here. That might be better.
Let's do it.
All right, let's see.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna chit chat. Ooh, it's working.
Is it working?
Yeah, it's working for me. Let's see if you guys headset will stop the echo. See, Cindy. Oh, thank you, my friend. Yep. Yeah, with StreamYard, I think headsets help for the echo side of things. So
awesome. That's good to know. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we want to chit chat about a journey from being a teacher to growing a pretty cool business. All right. By the way, for any of you guys that are on here, because we're checking in on our phones, what did you guys previously do before you started to get into your own business? Melissa, I know you were a first grade teacher, correct?
I was a first grade teacher, yes. So I was teaching first grade, and just like you, I just thought that was the pathway. That was going to be my lifestyle for the rest of my life, teaching, getting married, having kids, and just kind of going through that motions. And that was it. I had no idea. So, yeah.
Yeah, and same here. And it's interesting because Melissa and I connect really well, actually, because we do have very similar backgrounds. And I'm curious to know what you guys, what your backgrounds were before. Okay, cool. Lauren was a special ed pre-K teacher. Amy is a medical technologist. Adrian was high school teacher and assistant principal. Yes. Very cool. Yeah,
so a lot of teachers on here.
A lot of teachers.
That's really
teachers actually make pretty successful home-based business owners, by the way, in this industry, because our ability to be able to educate and meet people where they're at is a pretty cool superpower. So if you're thinking to yourself, you don't know how to do this, what I like to do, and maybe we'll talk about this in a little bit, is reminding yourself of where you started. That's the reason I asked the question to everybody, because if you remind yourself on where you started and you go back and you actually go and you work backwards, or you think about what made you successful in what you've done previously, whether it's being a parent, which honestly for me, everybody who's out here who's a parent is a super parent, right? You guys are superheroes. And so like, what are the things that make you successful there? What are the things that make you as a successful spouse? What are the things that made you a successful teacher? What are the things that made you a successful, medical, what was that? Medical technologist. That's so not going to be the word, but it's hilarious. Oh, it is. Okay. Technologist, medical technologist. There's a reason I taught second grade.
Oh my gosh. Exactly. Because the kids don't know when you mess up.
Right? And they giggle and they laugh at you, which hopefully you guys will too.
I know.
But you look at, previous success, past success, and what helped you get there. And that can help you inside a business. So we can talk about that in a little bit. But, for me, it was very similar to Melissa. I don't know how many of you felt this way as well, too. If you did, make sure you join in on the conversation. I had this thought in my mind, like literally, since I was probably 5 or 6 years old, I knew I wanted to be a teacher. Like it was just a natural thing for me. It was in my blood, I guess you could say, that I just really loved being able to help people. And I loved being able to teach and train other people. Like did it in every thing that I could possibly do, right? Helping in the classroom to, through ballet, like the ability to be able to help teach other people how to become better. Like it was just something that I really, really enjoyed doing. And I don't know if any of you guys can relate to this. However, it's how many of you have had that moment where it's like, you set what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life for your occupation. And then you go to school for it. And then you get that good job. And then you go and you work 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 so that at some point you can retire. Like that's kind of how life was set up for me. And truly, truly deep down in my heart, I loved what I did. I loved the school I was at. I don't have that story of like not being happy and fulfilled there. I totally was. For me, what changed was when I started to actually look at, I'm that kind of person that goes 100% into something. I don't like to dabble in like 8 different things. I like to be totally focused in. Yeah. How about you? Yep. Are you like that, Melissa?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. If I have that vision, if I have that clarity around where I'm going, and it just, totally. Like no backing down, full force, like gonna make it happen. No excuses. Yeah. Gonna fall down a million times. It doesn't matter, but I will get back up and keep going.
Yeah. It's like the go big or go home thing, right?
Exactly.
So Andrew and I got married 8 years ago now. We're celebrating our 8-year anniversary down here in Cabo. It was a
anniversary
back. Thanks.
So exciting.
It is very exciting.
Especially in Cabo.
I know. Especially celebrated in Cabo. And there were fireworks when we went out to dinner.
Oh
it was crazy. Oh my gosh, we have so much fun together, you guys.
I know.
Awesome. So when we got married, I had that moment of, all right, I want to have kids. Like I know that we want to have a family. And I had that moment in my mind of with how I teach and how I show up, how am I going to be able to be that like 100% all in with my career and 100% all in as a mom? And I just had that moment of, shoot, maybe this isn't the training and teaching avenue that I want to continue to keep going in now. Maybe I don't want to be in the same classroom for the next 30 years, which I was totally game for. I loved what I did. I loved where I was at. But I had those moments of I didn't really want to drop my kids off at daycare if I didn't have to. And I wanted that ability and that power of choice, that power of freedom. Plus, we actually found out that we were going to be moving around quite a bit for Andrew's job. And so I had another moment where it was like, all right, I can either continue to keep teaching and I can continue to keep, starting at the bottom and rising up to the top, because every state I moved from, I would have to get recertified. Like there was a lot of different things that I had to make a really, powerful choice of, do I want to do something bigger and better? And the interesting thing is I wanted more freedom. I wanted the ability to spend more time with the future kids, that we're going to be having. And that's when Andrew all of a sudden was like, hey, remember that thing that I've been doing, that side hustle thing that you wanted nothing to do with, that I've been focusing in on so we both don't have to work, multiple jobs. Would you like to test that out? Like all of a sudden it kind of just like truly, for all of you that are watching, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay, there are moments in life when you allow yourself to just be open to something new and open to a transition or open to moving or open to being a parent, that things fall into your lap. So it's like, oftentimes people will say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears or the mentor appears. And for me, it was when I was ready, the opportunity appeared for me. And the opportunity was presented to me by my husband. And originally he invited me as a spouse to come to an event in Las Vegas, actually the same event that you went to, Melissa.
Yeah.
Where you had like
amazing
big breakthrough.
Oh my gosh. So many big breakthroughs. Yeah, it was awesome.
And so we went to the same one just a few years earlier. Mm-hmm. And it was the first moment, and I don't know about all of you, but have you ever had that moment where you go, you know what? The people that are here, the things that they're talking about, the lives that they lead, the impact that they have, that's what I want. And I could see myself doing it at a smaller scale in my classroom, like really, truly impacting, anywhere between 21 to 26 kids a year. And so I knew that I could have impact there. And then I realized the bigger picture of being able to impact more people. And so that's when I actually jumped in feet first. I left my teacher's job with really no plan B. I mean, let's call it what it is. It was really no plan B at the time. Like I didn't know what I was doing when I first started.
And I can totally relate too, because I was right in that same situation where it's like you want this lifestyle so bad, and you think to yourself, like, do I really have to wait until I'm retired to achieve this? Like, life is too short. And that's exactly what was going through my head. And it's a scary feeling to know that, I wanted to be home with my kids so bad. I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to see them off the bus. I wanted to make sure I was at every single activity and not having to drop them off at the babysitter's house. To be home to make dinners, like all those little things. And it's like, do I really have to wait? Do I really have to settle and kind of go through those motions and wait until I retire to have all those things? So for me, and I'm sure, let me know if anybody's watching, whoever's watching, if you can relate to this, that it's like you want those things, but it's like you don't know where to start. You don't know where to turn to. You don't know where, just any step to kind of like keep going to even know how to get there, right? And for a lot of people, it's like I was determined. I was not going to go back to school and get a second degree. That was not going to give me that lifestyle that I wanted. But at the same time, I refused to stay at home and just be, even though a mom's a very important role, I knew that I had more in me, that I wanted to be successful, and I wanted to make something of myself to show my kids. And I just didn't know how to get there. So if anybody can relate to that, like, let us know in the comments if you can totally relate to that, because that's exactly where I was too. And it was that event that gave me that bigger vision to know what was possible.
Yeah. I'm so happy you brought that up too, because that actually was a huge reason for me as well, is that, there was a part of it where I knew that this was an opportunity to create a lifestyle that we wanted, to give me more freedom, which meant obviously more time home with our future kids. However, the big thing that actually meant a lot to me was being a role model for my future kids. Like, that's the stuff that still, it gets me like emotional now, is being able to be the actual parent that I want to be and have them see who I am and how I show up and what I do and what I teach and train on. Because the thing is like teaching and training, like I said, is in my blood. It's not going anywhere. So all I looked at was, okay, how do I actually make this something where all I'm doing, and by the way, this realization came after about 12 months of wildly failing, which we can talk about in a second if you want, and what I did differently. But it was when I had that moment of all of a sudden, wow, I'm passionate about teaching. All I have to do is teach and train a different skill set to a different crowd, and it's the same thing. I'm transferring the same thing, the same way I teach, the same way I build relationships with my people. And it's not 7-year-olds, it's just adults now. But, it's adult. But I have the ability to impact adults who then impact their kids. And so for me, it was like an absolute no-brainer when I figured it all out.
Yes. And and you can talk a little bit about that. So we discover, this side business, and it's like, oh, it's going to give me this time and financial freedom, right? And we get so excited and we dive right in. And in the beginning, most people are only they do the things that their mentors, whatever they know, they kind of just, that's what they do. They follow their lead and they get started and they go through those motions. But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you can relate. When I started doing a lot of those things, it just felt very inauthentic to me. I wasn't aligned with doing those things. And I was like, wow, like, this is such an amazing opportunity. I love the vision. I love where this can take me. But how the heck am I going to build this thing while still staying true to who I am and what I'm all about, and still having fun in my business? Because in the beginning, I was completely ashamed of when somebody would ask me what I would do, like once I was able to stay at home and start to put these, to start building my business from home, when somebody would ever ask me, what did I do? It's like, I always beat around the bush. Like I didn't really want to say like,
it was hard.
Yeah, it was so hard because it's like I was ashamed and I just didn't feel, because, you go to school, and you get a master's degree and all of that, and you have this degree, this title, where you feel like you're a certain person. And so it was really hard to be able to even understand and have any clue as to where to start doing it in a way that felt truly authentic.
Yeah, so I'll give you all a really helpful tip. And actually, it's a great tip that I originally got from the book Magnetic Sponsoring, which I know you're promoting. There's a like mini reopening, right?
Yes.
It'll be open until when? Wednesday, right? Tomorrow.
Wednesday at midnight. Yep.
Literally, tomorrow at midnight. So if you have not gotten your copy yet, Melissa, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Okay, so I'm actually going to post
on both of us.
It really has. And this has literally been the biggest game changer in my personal life, in my business, in just all different areas. The principles that I learned in this book specifically has been such a game changer. So for anybody that's entrepreneurial, that's in network marketing, or even has an inclination or wants to be, and just has no idea even how to start or how to get there, this book truly you want to get your hands on, because for that limited amount of time, this is actually reopened. We were actually able to
put it up over your face because you can't see it. There we go.
Is that better? Is this better? This book right here, and there it is, Center. I'm going to post the link in the comments, because what we're able to do because of the relationship that we have with the people behind this concept in this book of attraction marketing, Mike Dillard, there's so many people, Fernie, so many wonderful mentors that came into our lives that had such an amazing impact. The principles in this book have literally been a game changer in my business. So I'm going to post the link in the comments. And like Kate said, this is only opened up until tomorrow night at midnight. And we actually are able to give away free copies, right, Kate, of this book, free copies. And all you have to do is pay for shipping. So it is completely a no-brainer if you are in this space and looking to really just take that ownership of your business again. And more importantly, get your identity back and build it in a way that aligns with you and that you want to, that can be fun for you to build your business. Is, when you're building a business and moving in that direction, it's really important to love what you're doing and to have fun. So I just posted that link in the comments. It might take a second. There we go. Sweet. So if you wanted to grab your copy, make sure that you get that. And I'm actually throwing in some really cool bonuses for those that do grab. I know. I actually thought about this because I'm like, you know what? This has been such a game changer. And if I could just share this book out for somebody, if it can help that one person or two people or three people or as many people as possible, right? And I think back to where I started and to what maybe I could have used at the time when I started. So yeah, I want to give you some extra perks and bonuses just for grabbing this book and taking that initiative to read, and even just to start with learning about it. That's really the first step, learning about it and making that commitment. Like you said, once you're open to wanting to make that change for yourself, once you make the decision and open up that possibility, it's like things just keep falling into your lap and things start, coming together. So my little perks and bonuses that I would love to share with you for anybody that does grab this copy before midnight tomorrow on Wednesday is you're going to get a 1-hour strategy session with me. And it can be a Q&A. It can be, if you're already in the business, if you already have a product, service, opportunity, or whatever, and if you're looking to build your business online, I will be willing to work with you throughout that hour Q&A, or kind of looking at what you've been doing to see kind of what's working, what's not working, and have a conversation around that. Also, I will be able to give you private access to one of our Facebook groups, and it's all about social media makeover and really branding you and yourself, and what that's all about, what that means. Because I know when I first got started in business, I had no idea what that meant or how important that was. And to go a step further, just because this is really it, Kate, right? Like this is the last chance. I do not know if it's ever going to be available again. I'm really surprised that they even opened this back up. I wasn't. Honestly, I didn't think they were going to open this back up, but they are doing it for just a short amount of time. So to really, really help you to understand just how important this has been, for me and hopefully for you, and it's been such a game changer, I'm even going to open up a little book club because, the teacher in me, like I love reading. I could read all day long with this stuff, but why not do a little book club and actually walk through that together? And chapter by chapter, we will kind of sort things out and talk about it to see really if it's a good fit for you in your life right now and in your business.
Wow, that's awesome. And honestly, the extra value that you're providing for all of you guys that are looking at getting this book, again, it's free plus shipping. I mean, that's just a no-brainer to be able to have some time with Melissa. People that get time with Melissa right now have to invest like multiple 5 figures to be able to actually have time with her, for her to be your coach and your mentor. And so that's something that's hugely, hugely important and valuable. And so make sure that you guys take her up on these bonuses. I know that they're closing up on Wednesday, which is really cool, because this book, like I said, like really changed some things for me, because I think one of the biggest things that I can offer out and share with you guys, just as like my main tip, is when I started out in this business, there were 2 things that were happening for me. Mm-hmm. Number one is I didn't treat it like a profession. Okay. For me, when I first started out, I didn't mean to be, but I was looking for shortcuts. I was looking for the easy button. I was looking for just tell me what to do kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Whereas I didn't do that when I actually invested in my original profession, which was teaching and education, right? I have my bachelor's degree. I got my master's degree. I took it very, very seriously. Any side of internship that I needed to do, I was there. Like it was understood. And what I realized is that in the beginning, especially when I was like flailing around for those, first 6 to 9 months of where things were not clicking for me, it was because I was choosing to go the road and like do it alone and do it by myself, and maybe listen to one person who kind of knew what they were talking about, but not really. They didn't have success either. And so I was seeking answers from people who had not really proven that they, could walk the walk and talk the talk. And so for me, I had to start looking at what did I do previously to become successful inside of my previous professions, or inside of ballet, inside of field hockey, inside of, lacrosse, inside of anything that I did. How did I become successful? And so once I actually got curious about that, I realized, oh, geez, it was when I actually got coaches and got mentors and had other people help me along the way, guide me, not help me and tell me what to do, but guide me, so that I had the ability to go take effective action versus just blindly taking action and throwing business cards, in bathroom stalls, which is what I would do. Yeah. Because that's what was recommended. And that's okay. Like some of that stuff actually does work. And you'll hear of people who have like this wildly crazy success story of flyers getting on there, someone's interested, and then they end up producing like crazy. But it's not something that can be duplicated over and over and over again on a daily basis. And so for me, that was huge. The second part that was huge, and the reason I brought up magnetic sponsoring, was that there was a lot of self-confidence issues that I had in the beginning, because I had this view that I needed to be this sales rep, that I needed to be this person that sold and sold hard. And I had this vision of myself that I had to be this specific kind of person. And instead, which was kind of the powerful thing for me, and I believe it was inside of chapter 2. It's either chapter 2 or chapter 3 with the You Incorporated brand inside of Magnetic. That was a moment where I realized oh, wow, I am kind of more a naturally introverted person. I'm super bright and bubbly with the people that I know and that I trust and that I have a relationship with. But for me to walk into a grocery store and just strike up a conversation, I got to be all my energy has to be pushed into that. And honestly, I wanted to just be able to grocery shop, and go, pick up my fruits and vegetables with ease and not have to think about, each person that I see is a potential customer or potential teammate. And so I just realized that that wasn't for me. So what came about for me that really changed everything. And if we look at, what it took for me to get from, where I was at, which was struggling, to then ultimately creating a multiple 7-figure, business, was skills, finding somebody who had the skills, and then actually learning from them and implementing from them with something that had been proven that they had done. And then the second thing was just trusting that who I am and how I share information and how I teach and train, like we talked about, I actually then finally made this connection of like, oh, I really enjoyed teaching. Now I'm just teaching a different skill set to a different crowd of people. But I'm still going to be teaching. I'm still going to be training. I'm still going to be impacting. That's when I got my self-confidence back. When it was connected with learning the skills, which throughout the book, it'll teach you the rest of the skills, right? The concepts that you need to know. But the biggest thing for me was like trusting that I was enough and trusting that, you know, there are going to be people that love Melissa. I mean, who doesn't love Melissa, right? You all are in amazing, amazing hands. And just seeing her growth over the last, 12 months is just amazing. So you guys are in amazing hands with Melissa. But there are going to be some people who resonate with Melissa that don't resonate with me. And then there's going to be people who resonate with Sally out there that don't resonate with either of us. And so you have this unique ability once you find the people who can teach you the skills, which Melissa's one of them. But you have this ability to be able to add the unique slice of you.
I love that. Your unique slice.
Your unique
That's
slice.
Like the best way.
Yeah. Which makes building this kind of business more fun. So that's what I would say are like my big tips for you all.
It really was. And to wrap this up, Kate, because I know I don't want to keep you any longer. So the biggest shift for you of doing things for, I guess, the traditional way to, I guess, the things that you've done traditionally, those mistakes and things like that, and how, I guess, what really stands out for you with attraction marketing? How is it uniquely different? Just to kind of put that back in this perspective and kind of summarize that, just again, to kind of wrap things up. If you could share just a little bit about that.
Yeah, so for me, some of the biggest things when it comes to attraction marketing, which is what Magnetic Sponsoring is really all about, it's about how do you share your value in your marketplace, right? So if you're in health and wellness, how do you become a student of that industry and share your knowledge and share your wealth versus product first? So versus product and promotion, sell first, right? Like buy my stuff. And instead really looking at how do I provide value in this space? How do I become somebody that people want to listen to? How do I become somebody that people want to consistently come back to? Because I'm sharing the knowledge of what I'm learning. I'm sharing the things that worked for me. I'm sharing the things that didn't work for me. And that then allows people to be attracted to who you are, uniquely you. And then you can refer out your products and your services or your opportunity or whatever comes next. The selling comes second when you provide value first. And I think that was the most important thing for me when it came to actually adopting attraction marketing into my marketing plan, because I didn't even realize all I was doing was reactively and desperately promote. How come nobody's buying my stuff? Like, what the heck? And then all of a sudden when I realized, like if I looked at kids, right? If I compare it back to looking at kids and going like, just take the test, like take the test and do well. Oh, like you do, like come in the door and do this, or like read this book. They're resistant to it. Yes. But if we start discovering, or I start sharing some cool information about, I'm just going to like sharks, right? But if I like give this book to this kid and just go read this book, how much are they really going to take in? Versus let's have a conversation about some cool things that I've learned and discovered about sharks. That sounds crazy. But then that gets them curious enough to actually want to know more about this book that maybe they have to read. And so it's the same thing when it comes to selling. It's like, get people curious about what you have going on, show them your world, share your knowledge of information that you're learning. Even if you're just learning it, that's what changed for me, is I brought people along on a journey with me. And then it became so much easier for me to make connections with people, build up a network with people, show appreciation to those people. And then they were like, hey, like, how do I join you? How do I sign up with you? What are your products? Oh, I really like you. I want to work with you. And that's the difference for me when it comes.
And isn't that way more fun too? Yeah. And isn't that way more fun to actually do business with somebody and lock arms with somebody who they're most like-minded people, just like you, right? Where you don't feel like you have to go out there and convince, and talk to everybody and product and reach out to people and have these conversations. We're just feeling totally inauthentic. Like it just did not align with me. Right. Yeah. So to find this better way to build my business using these strategies, and this book does a phenomenal job breaking down step by step what, the strategies behind what both of us are doing. And it kind of is that start to kind of making that vision and have more of that clarity around how it all actually works, right? And like Kate said, in addition to the book, this is a great start, but we went beyond that. We went beyond that with mentorship and accountability and coaches and really getting together in that circle of those people who wanted to do the same thing and lock arms and really have that support with one another. So that's exactly, what it's done for me and how it's helped me to continue on, with this journey as well. So.
Awesome.
Kate, thank you so much for hopping on. I really, really appreciate your time and being here and sharing your story and really giving your perspective on, kind of where you were and how you, have, how you got to be from a second grade teacher in that classroom to creating a multiple 7-figure business. That's such a huge, huge accomplishment. And that's just so, so awesome. So super proud of you. Love you to death. And thank you so much.
Ditto.
I cannot wait to squeeze you and see you again.
Yay. And by the way, just for everybody that's on here, if you've gotten your copy of Magnetic Sponsoring, comment in and let us know that you've gotten your book, which is awesome. And if you haven't gotten your book yet, Melissa will be adding in a link in the comments and just make sure that you connect and reach out to her, because I'm telling you, she's the real deal. So it's interesting because it's a very similar thing. She's got a similar story to me. That it's like find the people who have done it before and then hop in with them and lock arms with them to figure out how they did it so that then you utilize it yourself with your own slice of uniqueness.
Yes.
And that's the cool part. So you guys are in amazing hands with Melissa. I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I just dropped the link in there again. So yes, definitely let us know if you've grabbed your copy. And then also reach out to me too. So that way I can make sure that I can give you all of those amazing bonuses that I'm going to provide for those of you that do go ahead and grab this book. Again, it's a free copy. All you have to do is pay for the shipping. And it's only available until tomorrow, Wednesday, which is the date tomorrow, the 30th at midnight. So we don't have that much time left. So that's why I wanted to make sure to come on here and share that with you, because that's something that I kind of have always kept separate, on my personal page and my business. And everybody's always asking, Melissa, what do you do? What is it that you do? I see you traveling, I see you doing this. And it's, I'm like, this is the perfect way to kind of share that and what I do and to really have that, to make that impact, but most importantly, to share your story as well, because I know that we have a very similar background. So hopefully it inspires a lot of people. Yeah,
I hope so too.
To create that lifestyle that you absolutely love and just don't wait and settle for anything less.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. So, all right. Thank you so much, Kate.
Yes,
I really appreciate having you on. And you go enjoy the rest of your time in Cabo.
Thanks. All right. Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye, guys.